Hello, I hope you're having a great day. So I'm watering my perennial field right now, and I'm going to start harvesting and see what I come up with. It's gonna be 97 degrees today, so I'll probably try to be out of the field by noon, and I might not come back. I think it's gonna cool down quite a bit this next week, so I'll start worrying about my weeds and harvesting more stuff then. I do have to put 11 little dinky, like 4 stems in each vase together and take to the coffee shop today. So I'm gonna do that. And while I would like to get some weeding done, I'm just not sure if I'll have time. But if I do, or if I'm out there harvesting and I see a big weed, I'll pull it. Yay, I got 160 blooms of yarrow. I got 150 yesterday, so I actually got a few more. And there's quite a bit left. So I like to open the yarrow. I think I had a question about this. When it's all open. So, and I strip off the rest. So some of the unopened ones. Let me go get an example. Here's probably a good example right here. Okay, so see how I cut this, it's in water and they're all standing up, and see how I cut this and they're starting to droop. They're kind of droopy. So anything that's not open on yarrow won't open, and it just gets droopy and looks ugly, and you can just strip it off. So I just strip it off. And every once in a while, these little ones on the side are, like this one is all the way open and it's just a little bit droopy, but it's not bad enough that I would worry about it. But I just tear them off. So after a day or two, you'll know which ones stand up and which look good and which ones droop. And if they're open and they droop and you don't care, then that's okay. Because sometimes when you put a bunch of yarrow together, it holds each other up anyway. And so you can make like a bigger statement with the yarrow. So I got some like really cute, I got a daisy, some Rudbeckia, black-eyed Susan. I don't know, they're all kind of in the same family. I think the black-eyed Susans are a little different in the middle than that smooth brown. This was like a specialty Rudbeckia that I got, but a lot of people think they're black-eyed Susans, so maybe they are. Maybe I'm wrong. But anyway, got some of those and some of those. I could probably harvest a little bit of salvia, but the bees are loving it, and there's not a ton of stuff for the bees right now. They have been all over my yarrow, I've noticed. And I think I'm gonna go ahead and let my lupine kind of go to seed and try to fill the holes with it. I guess it's hard to grow here, and I lucked out by it growing. So unless somebody requests it, I'm going to start letting it go to seed. Now I know the florists love it, and it's a great statement piece, so they might want a few more pieces. But I've noticed in my vases at home, it kind of like falls off and stuff. And then I had one of my subscription people said that was happening to her too. So maybe it's just time for the lupine. I don't know though, it still looks like there's some over there that would work. But today I'm doing that restaurant, and I don't want lupine at the restaurant. I don't want a chance of it falling off and getting into somebody's food because it's toxic. So lupine's staying away from the restaurant. And I think I'm just gonna go ahead and go over and cut whatever I can out of my annual field. But I'm gonna first put my yarrow in the cooler. But first, my timer was going off. So I've already watered this field for 35 minutes. So these plants are loaded. I mean, I could cut buckets. I think I could, I mean, look at them. I could probably cut, I don't even know. And just because it's so like wiry and stuff, and so it takes up a lot in the bucket, I'm guessing I could pick 10 to 20 buckets of this. And I guess that's where you start running into problems if you don't have a real big walk-in cooler, because I don't have anywhere to put 10 or 20 buckets. So I keep harvesting it, but now my coolers are getting full because 3 buckets of this. I did sell 1 bucket to a florist, and I'll probably be able to get some more to a florist. But the problem is it's blooming, and once it is done blooming, it turns brown out here in the field. And then from last year, I didn't notice that it ever came back again. So it's almost like this is the season to get it. I need to do some cooler tests yet. I don't even know how long it'll last in a cooler, and then the vase life when you bring it out. I want to do all of that kind of testing on all of my flowers. But I'm just gonna pick 1 bucket because I just don't have the cooler space to put them. Maybe some year I will. And these are all perennial, and mine, I have one at home, and it's this big this year. So I just imagine these getting a lot bigger and having a lot more. So maybe some year I will be able to pick and offer, you know, baby's breath in bulk. I probably could this year if I knew anyone that wanted it, but I'm gonna pick as much as I can because I think when it's done, it's done. If you know any tricks about it to get it to come back later in the season, and maybe it's because I don't pick it all, so it actually goes to seed and then it doesn't ever flush out again. But last year I cut all of mine off my home plant because this wasn't established yet. And it was enough, like 1 plant was enough for my season last year. Like I never ran out, and I was able to give everybody that wanted it the baby's breath. But then it died out, and I didn't have it the rest of the year after probably here in a couple of weeks. So probably around the 1st of July, I think it just kind of fizzles out. So, and maybe that's because I'd cut it all, but I don't think it's cut and come again. But obviously I have more than enough. So if it had a good cooler life, I could extend it another month or so and sell it, because, you know, you can, it has a pretty good price tag per stem. I don't remember exactly, but I think it was like $1.44. And I mean, my stems are big. That's one thing I need to do too. I did do a lot of research on the peonies, and I feel really good about my puffball peonies, the size of them and everything. They're in between probably the grade A and grade B. Something with peonies, like you want to pick them when they're like 1 inch. So that's always about 1 inch, I think, on like every human for some reason. I don't know. And then maybe not. Maybe I'm making that up. It is on me. So it works for me. Like when something's 1 inch, like that is 1 inch. Like this from here to here on my pointer finger is exactly 1 inch. So, so yeah, I can just do that and then pick the peony buds at that stage. And then if the stems, my stems, I wanted my plants to do better, and I didn't really care about them being 18 inches long. So some of my stems weren't that long, so that's why I say they were categories probably in between an A and a B peony, or level, I think it's A and B. It might be level 1 and 2, I don't remember. But like some of those were like the best quality peonies. The stems were straight. I looked up all the guidelines on it. And I need to do that with every plant, because like this stuff, you know, like I consider that a stem, but is that a stem, or is this like 2 stems to a florist? I don't really know. And I could probably ask my florist. They're real honest with me because they were the first ones to really sign up with me. So I give them an overabundance of stems regardless. But yeah, so, and you know, like once you like, you can like fill this bucket. Like look, my bucket And I'll just keep squishing it more full, but you see I've only cut like 3 stems off and my bucket's full. So this is the case where you would really need a really big walk-in cooler. Because see here, there's already little tips that might be starting to turn brown. And this hasn't even bloomed out yet. So maybe that was just maybe that just got bit off by a bug or something. But yeah, I've just been doing stems like this. And honestly, the babies, I could cut it. I mean, I could cut stems like this, but I've been cutting it like this because when I do my own vases, I just kind of like will strip off this part right here. And that's enough because it's usually at the bottom of the vase more than like up at the top. And I don't know, I could make longer stems, but that's about how I'm doing it right now. I'll probably do longer stems if a florist asks me to, or if I have problems putting them in arrangements. See, like I could do this and pull off all these side stems and have really long stems. And I didn't even cut that stem to the ground. I only cut it like 1/3 of the plant. So I can have tall as well. But it's really finding out, I think, what people want. Like right now, I don't know exactly, like I could probably go look up the guidelines. I don't know if there are guidelines on every flower or not. I know there are on specialty ones like peonies, roses. So yeah, so I could go look it up and see if there's like US guidelines on the baby's breath, and maybe I could figure out exactly what I need to do. If I do, I'll try to let you know. I should have probably let you know that when I was picking peonies back in the peony days. But I found, I just found it, I think it was a USDA, and it had the requirements to be like specific grades. And it made me feel really good because I was like, oh, my peonies are actually, you know, I never really knew because the Amish sell a lot down here. And so people are like, well, I can get those a lot cheaper, and there's grade qualities. And, you know, some florists just aren't as like friendly as others. Or maybe they're just more matter of fact. They're more business, you know, and it is business because you're selling them flowers. But in any case, you know, but then they said that to me, and then after looking up all the guidelines and reading it all, I realized that mine were like grade A. So I don't know exactly what they were thinking grade A was, but by the guidelines, mine were. Other than they were a little short, so maybe that's what they were talking about. But I could have cut them longer, but my plants are more important to me. Like the actual bushes are more important than getting another 2 inches of stem on them. And, you know, I see their shop and I see their arrangements and I see what goes out, and it's not all real long stuff. So maybe they had a big wedding in mind, I don't know. But anyway, I'm gonna cut this. I'm almost full with my bucket. That's all I'm gonna take, and then I'm gonna go to my annual field. Nice little bucket of baby's breath. Ah! I spy a wonderful thing in my garden. What is that? That is a purple Lisianthus. So excited. I'm gonna go cut it. Or maybe I should wait. I should wait until there's more blooms. I don't. It's so glorious. My first one, you guys. My first Lisianthus. I'm so excited. It's a little short. It's a little short. But it's my first Lisianthus. Oh my gosh, it's glorious. So my stalk is really small, and I think I could pick it because I think it's 1/3 open. But I'm gonna leave it and just see if it gets any bigger. It's my first year with it. And then look, it looks like my gomphrena is starting. They have just little itty bitty buds on them right now. So, and the sunflowers are getting bigger. The ageratum's are getting bigger. I got a few snapdragons. I got a Lisianthus. I could probably cut some of that ageratum. Look at all these buds on some of this Lisianthus. I'm so excited. Last year, I know it doesn't, some of it kind of died out. But I still have a lot of big patches. I probably have 3 or 4 times more than last year, and it's already blooming. So that's exciting. It looks like I have some more bachelor buttons to pick. My bells of Ireland, I don't really know. They were just always really short. I don't know if they get taller or what, but I haven't really done much with them. And then my status and my asters are all growing over there. And the sunflowers I started are starting, and so are the zinnias. A lot different than just last week. These buckets could be more full, but it's getting full. That's what I like to see. Yay! All right, the little mason jar bouquets are done. So just about, well, there's supposed to be 4 stems per one, but I might have put 5 or so in. But they all just kind of have like a different, unique look to them, with a lot of the same similar flowers, some contrasting, and some just driving. So, yay, they're cute. I think they look really cute on their table. Whew. It's getting warm out here. So I got my vases delivered. They were really happy. A bunch of their customers told them that they were really pretty, so that was good to hear. And I got all of my peonies weeded, so I got all 4.5 rows of these all done and weeded. And it has jumped up to 88. High of 97 today, and I think there's a heat advisory. So now that I got those done, maybe I'll just go drink a whole bunch of water and see if I have it in me to go do my lavender rose. Well, I'm hitting my goal, I guess. I probably should add a little more water because I didn't start at 7 a.m. More like 4 a.m. It's just like, good morning, 4 a.m. Which will put me at 11 right now, which means I should have drank it all. So I'm taking a break in the shade. It feels really good in the shade. Oh my gosh. Like, the wind is blowing. It actually feels like I'm in an air-conditioned house over here. 88 and sunny. I wonder if it's just worse because you're standing out in the middle of the direct sun on a bunch of black. I think it reflects off and just makes it that much hotter. And the peonies and the lavender are probably even hotter just because there's no, there's a lot of space in between plants, so it's a lot of black. But at least I got some done. I'm excited. I'll probably go out, maybe I'll go out and try to do some lavender. I think I feel like I've turned into a wimp in my older age. I remember being outside all day, all the time when I was younger, but I bet I was like, you would walk under shade and walk under trees and stuff like that. So being out hours in the field under the beating sun is probably not the same. And I'm not. I usually, like when it's this hot, like 97 today, like I got up at 4 a.m. and I try to get all of my field work done before noon. And then I don't get back out in it until later in the evening if it gets shaded and it's a little bit nicer. I just don't want to put myself in a situation where I overheat and it takes me out for a few days. So that's what's going on today. It's just about 11 a.m. So I'll probably head in here in a little bit. So maybe I'll do a row or 2 of lavender because that'll be nice. And then I think the weather's going to cool down. So maybe this week I will get all my rows weeded. It will be so exciting. Yay! Because then I can work on other stuff. I don't know though, harvesting is taking a lot longer now than it used to too. So that ties into it, because then you harvest longer and you have less time for weeding. And then all of a sudden it's the end of the year and you're like, oh my gosh, how did this grass grow above my head? So after reviewing the weather, tomorrow is like 10 degrees cooler and it's cloudy, so the sun will not be beating down. So I've decided I think I'm gonna go home and maybe start putting some of my stuff on my website and get my mailers ready to mail out. I definitely have enough yarrow that I can support some more florists. Putting off weeding. Tomorrow, cloudy and 10 degrees cooler, I'll probably work faster and get my rows done faster, and I might as well, because it's just less stress on my body. So that's what I've decided to do. So I don't usually, I mean, you can go to www.marshesgarden.com and see the updates later. But I don't usually, I don't think it's very fun to watch somebody work on a computer. If I do anything else, I'll let you know. But if I don't jump back on here, I hope everybody's having a fantastic day. And if you're flower farming, I hope your flowers are bountiful.